So here's one of the exciting new products that I've recently purchased, and it's from Gelish. It's their newest product out in the industry at the moment, and it's called Polygel. So Polygel is a combination of your gel and acrylic. So it's got the strength of an acrylic, but much more flexibility and easier to work with than like your hard gels and your standard acrylic. So it's kind of in between, but it's purely amazing. So those of you that struggle working with acrylic, finding it setting too much, you get loads of lumps and bumps, this is just the perfect product for you, because when you put it on the nail, you've got all the time in the world to work with it until it goes under the lamp. But unlike gels and things that run everywhere and they move around so much, this doesn't do it. It's just so much easier and simpler. So when you work with it, you cure it, you can still file it, but it's much softer to file and easier to work with and get that better finish. So today I just really wanted to show you, I've got just the clear here. What I'd recommend is you purchase in their trial pack. So if you get their trial pack, you get 2 products in it. You get the natural clear, and then you get what we call your slip solution, which isn't like a monomer or anything like that. It's just literally a small amount of liquid. You can place it into your dapping dish, and it allows you just to wet and moisten your brush a little bit so you can move it around. But we don't want to overload the nail with that too much. So the other thing you'll get in your kit is a little tool like so. So this little tool is just simply just to take off the product from the end of the tube and place it onto the nail. So let's have a look at it together. So here I've prepped my nail. If it was a natural nail, you can put on, they do like a Pro Bond, which you can put on before, or a primer, which is just going to help obviously dehydrate the nail. We're working on a plastic tip, so I've just literally filed it, sprayed and wiped, and we're good to go. So the concept behind this is you're going to work with one, or if you want to call it a bead, a bit like acrylic in the center. And you're going to use your tool. I just like to wet it just very slightly with a bit of the slip solution, just to give me a little bit of movement when I'm working with it. You can place as little or as much on, depending on the size of the nail. If I just hold that in front of the camera just for you to look down, you can see the sort of consistency that it is. And then all you're going to do is just literally slice that off, place your tube out of the way. And then all we're going to do is just simply roll that onto the nail, like so. Okay, place that down. Take your brush. So this is a synthetic brush. I'm just going to wet it very slightly with some of the slip solution. And then all we're going to do is start moving it around the nail. So it's a bit different to the acrylic. We don't want to pat it too much, but we're sort of pushing it into place, I would say. But it's not setting like an acrylic would be. So often at this point, when you're working with the acrylics, you're thinking, oh my goodness, I've got to keep, moving it, working around before it sets. This, you don't have that. So all I'm going to do is just push it down roughly to where I want it. And then I can just literally keep moving it until I'm happy that I haven't got too many lumps and bumps. Obviously, check the nail from the side. Make sure it doesn't go under the end. The only thing I've found is sometimes when you pull it back, you get quite a bit come under here. So just check that as you're working with it. And what I tried to do is when I'm working is look from the side profile as I'm doing it, just so you can see what you're going to be achieving. But how easy is this to manipulate? It's not like, as I said, the acrylics where you go into panic mode thinking it's setting. And if at any point, what I found is if I found it's too dry, I just put a little bit more slip solution onto my brush, just to kind of put it to allow a bit more movement, I would say. But the only thing is, don't overload the brush, because I have also found that it doesn't set properly and cure under the lamp very well. So I've just got a little gap down here, so I'm just going to push it down into there. As I said, make sure you don't get any under. So all I'm going to do now is place that simply under my lamp. They recommend that you use your LED lamp, so just put it under for I think about 30 seconds. I tend to, with this lamp, because it's a slightly smaller lamp, I'm just going to double cure it just to make sure it's good. And then I just like to wipe off any excess afterwards. And then we're going to file and simply top coat. It really is amazing. I couldn't recommend it any more than what I already am. It's just one of the easiest products to work with. And as I said, at the moment, Gelish are the only brand that have it out, but I'm sure moving forward, there'll be lots of other companies that will, get something very, very similar. But do try it. It's the Polygel. So now this has come out, okay? If I just take a pad just to wipe off any excess. Just going to wipe over it, and then I'm going to start just to file. So as I said, you won't, or you shouldn't have, too much filing to do at this point. So I'm just going to come down the sides to start with, as I normally would. But you'll notice when you start to file it, it almost feels like a gel. You know, with acrylics, you have that sort of really hard, rigid feel, and there's no flexibility at all. You don't have it with this. And obviously, a huge selling point to this is there's no odor. So with your traditional acrylics, you have that strong smell. This is just perfect because it's odor-free. So perfect for use in like salons and spas where they're doing nails, but they can't offer acrylics because obviously they're offering the facials and the spa side of things, and they don't want that smell of acrylics lurking around the salon all day. This is just the answer to all of our prayers. As I said, I've literally fallen in love with it. So that's why I wanted to share it with you how easy it is to work with. So I'm just going to just look at the nail from the side profile now. So we'll just turn the camera angle for you. So you can see I've literally just used my white block. So there's only just a tiny little bit here that I can just file with my 180 grit. Unlike often with your standard acrylics, you really have to work at getting that technique of applying them so you don't get those lumps and bumps. This really is cutting it off the tube, rolling it onto the nail and spreading it out. So as I said, for beginners especially who are struggling with the application of acrylics, or for technicians who have been in the industry quite some time and just really haven't kind of used acrylics because of the smell and generally just don't like them anymore, this is the answer to all of your prayers. So I'm just going to wipe over that now, just let that dry, and then I'm just going to literally simply top coat it just for you to see. I'll use a gel polish top coat over the top just to make sure it's nice and glossy. They do different colours, so they do an amazing cover pink, and they also do the French white as well. And it's a very, same technique. You just roll it, cut it off, slice it off, roll it onto the nail and pat it out. And it really is as easy as that. So I'm just going to pop that under there. We'll then wipe off the sticky residue. And it's literally two main products. So your slip solution and your natural clear sheer or whatever colour you're working with. The only downside is, and some of the reviews from the product have said it's quite expensive. So the tubes are about £79, £80 for a one tube. But application wise, they say around 20 to 30 sets out of one tube. So actually it's really not that bad when you start spreading out that cost of it. And as I said, it's going to cut down your time. You've got no odour, much easier for you to work with. So really, it's well worth the money. So I'm just going to wipe over this, and then I just want to simply just nice and smooth. I want to just show you from the top, go to the side angle as well. So you can just see how smooth and easy the upper arch has been built. And it's literally in one bead. I've just placed it onto the top there, patted it out, and you're good to go. So that's your Polygel by your Gelish. Try it. You're going to absolutely love it.